10 millimeter versus 44 Magnum. Do they really rival each other? And today what I have is going to be lower powered, lighter weight bullets for both. You know, something you might actually use for personal protection rather than some of those high-end hunting rounds. Because, you know, to be honest, both are really too powerful for personal defense and most of their loadings. But when you go to something that's a little bit less powered and you lower the bullet weight, they become great personal defense options. So what we have here for the 10 millimeter is the tactical low recoil, low flash 10 millimeter. And what makes this interesting is it's only a 155 grain bullet, rated at 1350 feet per second or 627 foot-pounds energy. That puts it right in there with, you know, 357 Magnum energy range. And the 44 Magnum, the same deal going on. It's a 180 grain XTP. These are both XTPs, by the way, at 1500 feet per second, 899 foot-pounds. But we don't get that in this 4-inch barrel, as where we typically do get the rated velocity in this 5.3-inch barrel. But both of these are really low recoil. Now, what's interesting about this round, I didn't realize I had tested it a few months ago, but I had. Buffalo Bore showed this particular round here, and it showed it in a semi-jacketed soft point hollow point. So I thought it was something different than what I already had, but no, it's the exact same thing. So what we're going to do here is we're going to retest it for consistency. And in this box here, I got 1272 feet per second average. I'm going to see how close this new box comes to that and see how it compares to the 10 millimeter, because I think both of these are going to be about in the 357 Magnum energy range, and the 10 millimeter might actually be a little more powerful with these particular loads. So we're going to go through the chronograph, see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get at the same time, and then as always we're going to go through our juggernaut box, which contains a 1 3/4 inch pack of bologna. This kind of simulates like a pectoral muscle. We're covered by 4 layers of denim, followed by 1/4 inch medium density fiberboard to kind of simulate like ribs or sternum in a chest cavity. And typically how this compares to ballistics gel, it's not an exact science, but typically stuff that does about 12 inches in gel will come out the back of jug 2. Typical for 15 inches in gel will come out the back of jug 3, back of jug 4 18 inches, and so forth. So let's get started with the test and see how two really light loaded versions of these rounds compare to each other. All right, and before I do this test, I just want to reiterate the same information I get, just to try to calm the same comments I get in every one of these videos I do. This is not a 10 millimeter pistol. This is a Glock 41 and 45 ACP. I bought a conversion barrel. I got a conversion extractor, or a 10 millimeter extractor, a 10 millimeter magazine, and a 22-pound recoil spring to convert this over. It jams a lot because the Lone Wolf barrel I have in this is not the best barrel. I don't love 10 millimeter, so I'm not going to go out and spend $600–700 on 10 millimeter pistol when this works fine for the type of testing we're doing. We're not reviewing a handgun, we are reviewing ammunition basically. So, and as you see there, that's part of the issue. But again, we're not reviewing a handgun. Interesting. All right, it's rated at 1350 feet per second. Let's see how close we get to 1350 feet per second. 1411. 1432. 1408. 1387. I gotta put another couple rounds in here. 1413, so very good velocity. The reliability in its conversion was decent, but we're definitely above rated velocity. Let's see how that low-powered 44 Magnum compares. All right, our anti-personnel 44 Magnum, our last box got 1272 feet per second average. We'll see how this box compares to that one. 1286, 1259, 1286. I pulled that one, that was on me. 1255. Let's run another round. And 1270. So without doing the math, I can say it's definitely pretty close. Let's hit the ballistic box and see how these two compare to each other. All right, first up is the 10 millimeter, and this is a very powerful round for what it is. You know, 180 grains over 1400 feet per second. So this is going to do some damage. Let's see what we got. And I knew that was going to happen from my previous test. It's taking me a little bit here to pick up that bologna pack, but we'll take a look at it. All right, this was a pound of bologna. There's not even a quarter of it left. There's pieces of it in a circular pattern, about 20 feet in all directions. And we made a good hit through our denim and through our fiberboard. This is where it impacted and exited, so we can absolutely tell that this is expanding as it hit this fiberboard. And with our first jug, it pretty much never gets worse than this, other than that 1,000 foot-pound 44 mag I've tested in the past. That's more than 357 mag. This is more than pretty much anything. And jug 2 is absolutely deformed. It's split. Interesting here, and this is really interesting because we're only in jug 2. There's a dent out the back. It's a significant dent. This is going to be about 13 inches comparison to Ballistics gel, so it dumped that energy really quickly. And there are pieces of lead in here that kind of fell out, but our majority of our bullet here is just massive. That's got to be over 80 caliber. Just a massive amount of expansion. That is very, very impressive. I would not want to get hit with that. I mean, somebody could be standing behind the attacker and this would just drop them like a sack of potatoes and not exit. Let's try the 44 mag, see how that compares. All right, 44 mag. Let's see what this does. On first glance, not a whole lot different. It looks like I did, well, I hit the fiberboard center enough, but it did split the side right off it. So what we have for bologna damage, I recovered a lot more. So that makes sense. It's moving a little bit slower. I think I had a little less power too. And through our fiberboard, and we're looking at a similar size hole here, and it took the corner off. Interesting. So our first jug though, you know, it's not split as wide as the 10 millimeter, but it looks pretty close. Jug 2 actually has about the same damage as the 10 millimeter. We're coming out the back of 2, impact on 3. We went through 3, impact on 4. And there's not really a dent out the back, but we're in 4, so that's basically going to indicate 16 or 17 inches comparison to Ballistics gel. So we'll take a look at this and see what we got. And what we got is what we might expect. The expansion is a little bit less because it's moving a little bit slower. So overall, this is really good. I mean, this is about as good as it gets for a personal protection round. But that 10 millimeter is just really impressive. So what I like to normally do, customarily shoot at 50 yards with some of these rounds, and why not? And to see if they have any momentum on my steel tank. I had a really good sense of these being accurate at close range and just where I was placing these shots. So I feel like they're going to be pretty accurate at distance with a pretty flat trajectory. So let's see what I can do with this 10 millimeter. I'll do 5 rounds of each. Very accurate, like I suspected, and we saw a good amount of momentum from the 10 millimeter, even at 155 grain. So let's see how the 44 does. All right, 44 Magnum. Let's see what I can do with this. I pulled it a little bit to the left. A little bit to the right. I think I hit it. I didn't see a whole lot of wobbling around. My wrist hurts a little bit more from that round than the 10 millimeter, but overall pretty good cartridges. Very impressive 10 millimeter. Just everything I saw about it definitely is very impressive. Tactical recoil, it's not going to over penetrate, it's going to shoot real flat and great. So I'm going to say it's a really great 10 millimeter round. I wouldn't hesitate to carry that if I had a good 10 millimeter pistol. Same with this. This actually is my house defense gun, and that's what I have loaded in it, is this particular ammo. So that says a lot whether I trust or not. So very good ammunition overall. So that's what you get today. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.